My name is Sira Boats, and I am an occupational therapist, a dementia specialist, and a daughter of dementia. And here at Boats Memory Method, we are trying to bring you hope on the dementia journey. Today, I would like to explore two concepts that I hear a lot as I go in and out of different senior living facilities, work with care partners and loved ones of persons living with dementia. And the term is therapeutic lying. What does that exactly mean? Is that maybe a misnomer? And what is it what we're really trying to say when we're talking about therapeutic lying? Now, to clarify, I do not like that term. I think that's a misnomer. And I think what we're trying to say is that we're trying to validate somebody's reality. So instead of talking about therapeutic lying, I would rather focus on validating reality. And why do I say that? I often see therapeutic lying happening when somebody, number one, is unsure of how to react when a person living with dementia has some difficult behaviors. Or number two, if they don't know that person well enough, this may be a default where they are twisting the truth in order to step into a situation that they're not familiar with. So they're not trained, they don't have enough information, and this is kind of a default setting of maybe telling lies to a person living with dementia to settle them down. So I would love for us to kind of switch our thinking to validating reality, which is totally different from therapeutic lying. So what does it mean to validate reality? Number one, why does somebody's reality needs to be validated? That question arises. So let's talk about validating reality versus therapeutic lying. So, but we have to take a step back and just look at our person living with dementia and think about why this may become necessary. So a person living with dementia at a certain stage, it's typically at the violet stage, rose stage. This person's long-term memories have been contorted, and it may be that they're living with complete short-term memory loss. So every day that they wake up, it's a new day, it's a new environment, it's new people. They may not recognize where they're at because many times the place where they're aging is not the place that they have as a reference in their long-term memory. The people taking care of them looks different than the people that they have in their long-term memory, and they don't make short-term memories. Therefore, they're not going to recognize the people in the environment that takes care of them, even if they've done that every single day. So now you have somebody that's disoriented, someone that doesn't make new memories, or very limited new memories, someone whose long-term memories may be contorted, and they are unable to clearly communicate with them where they are at in their memory base. So they may be in a role back in the day as a sister to someone, or they may be in the role of being the daughter of their parents. They may be in a role of a physician still actively working today as a physician. So they are identifying with roles, and we may not be exactly familiar with which role they're identifying with in the present. With validating reality, with this approach, we are switching our gears a little bit. We are not prepared to tell half-truths or lies to help them fit into their reality. What we're doing is we're going to meet them where they're at in the moment. We are going to explore what their needs are in the moment. So if somebody tells me when I walk in and they're crying, and I'm asking them, what's wrong? And they tell me, my husband just died. And I know that their husband died in the Vietnam War in the 70s. It's not going to help my cause to tell them your husband did not die. He's been dead for 40 years. You are now in a nursing facility where we're taking care of you. That's not going to help me. I have to step into her reality as if that death has just happened, because that is her truth right now. So I'm not lying to her by validating her reality. What I'm doing is I'm building rapport with her. I'm validating her feelings because she is sad, she is mourning. And meet her where she's at in that moment. And then I'm going to try and offer her a different emotional experience, a different sensory experience. Maybe it's holding her hand to comfort her. Maybe it's accompanying her to the lunchroom where you're going to sit down and have a snack and drink a cup of coffee and tell me about your husband. Maybe she's just missing him and she wants to talk about him. Maybe we can pull up a picture of her family home or of her husband. So how can we anchor her in the here and now while validating what she's feeling? And I don't consider that lying to her. I consider that TLC, tender loving care, meeting where she's at in the moment, and then providing a sensory experience that's comforting, that builds relationship, and that helps anchor her in the here and now. So there are a couple of ways in which we can do this. So how can we explore somebody's needs? First off, we need to know a little bit about this person. If you're not sure when you step into a situation with your person, maybe you are a caregiver, a paid caregiver, you may want to ask a few questions. Did this person's husband die in the war? When was that? Did they have a good relationship? What kind of hobbies did they have? Did they have children? This can help you build a knowledge system to draw from if this person has recurrent sadness about the same event. Another great example is when you have someone that insists that people are stealing from them. So it may be that they're putting their own belongings in a safe place and they just simply forget where it's at. But now, because they cannot find it, obviously somebody has stolen it from them. And it's even more complex when they don't remember the people in their environment. So for that person, every person that they don't know in their environment may be a potential thief. And it may be that they have housekeeping coming in and out of their room and servicing their room, but they don't know that person. So that must be the person that's stealing their stuff. So how do we enter into that space? Again, it's not going to behoove us to say, oh, you're wrong, nobody's stealing from you. That may aggravate that person even more because they have this fear and the strong belief that their stuff is stolen. So let's meet them where they're at. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's hard to lose something. What did you lose? Can I help you look for it? I think I may have seen it in your bathroom. Let's take a look. Let's open your drawer. If this person is not open to exploring and looking for the missing object, again, maybe it's just the reassurance of you being there, holding their hand, listening to their complaint, and then providing them with a different sensory stimulation that's more pleasant. Let's go for a walk outside. Let's go find a cup of coffee. It's tea time. Let me see if I can find some photos that your daughter sent me of the new grandbaby. Would you like to look at the pictures of the new grandbaby? Again, you need to know a little bit of background history about your person so that you can anchor them in the here and now with a positive sensory experience. This can be pictures, videos, it can be jokes, it can be music, it can be snacks. It can be electronic animal that you bring in the room with you and say, hey, look what I got. I brought Lucy for a visit. So try to find out what your loved one respond to in a positive way and try to use those tools to anchor them in the here and now and to get their mind away from those negative thoughts. And that's what I mean by validating their reality anchoring them in the here and now using a positive sensory experience that will basically get their mind off of the negative loop that they're in. So to me, there's a big difference between validating their reality and therapeutic lying. And again, to wrap up, therapeutic lying is a coping mechanism where we're trying to insert untruths in order to settle someone or soothe someone. I think it's done in the best intentions, but I think if we take a step back, we try to learn about that person and their needs, then we can be much more effective in our approach. Somebody else that I want to keep for you to keep in your tool belt is think about things such as, did they sleep well the previous night? Are they hydrated? The first thing I tell our care partners and loved ones to do is go to your person when you're going into the room or trying to approach them. Go with a drink. Let's drink something together, because immediately we are improving cognition by being hydrated within 10 minutes. The other thing that works really well is the sucking reflex, so the rooting reflex. Sucking a peppermint or a lollipop, or even sucking that hydration, the fluid, through a straw will soothe us, anchor us in the here and now. So that's a great tool to help somebody calm down if they're in a distressing situation. So do know what their likes and dislikes are. Do know if they have eaten well the past day or so, if they've slept well. Do know if they may be feeling isolated or lonely. So a lot of times these difficult behaviors are elicited due to needs not being met. And it's our job to validate their reality, to find out what their needs are, and to help meet their needs. I hope you will sign up for our YouTube channel. Also visit our website, www.boatsmemorymethod.com. Sign up for our free newsletter there. And also check out our Dementia Learning Center, where we have a lot of training videos up and running right now just for you.